writing, sleeping, or even saying hello. When I first moved to the US, I had no idea that Americans do this different than Germans. Hello and welcome back. Thanks for joining. Before I moved to the US, I had no idea that there are even that many differences. I thought actually they look alike, they should also act alike. But no, apparently they don't. So now when a German colleague of mine who's coming to our American office was asking me, Julia, please tell me a couple differences that I should watch out for when visiting the office. So I was thinking of limiting this list. I will give 3 differences, and if you watch till the end of this video, I will even reveal a 4th one. So writing. I did not even know that there are any differences. And I didn't find out immediately when I moved to the US, but when I was sitting with my colleagues in a conference room and we were using the flip chart and I was writing down some numbers, I saw actually that they are expressing some faces, and then they were asking me, like, what do you do? I said, well, I write some numbers. And there was an example. I found out that Germans write numbers differently than Americans. So my 1 looks different from one in the US. The 4, it looks very similar. However, my daughter complained a lot when I was helping her in school. She complained that my 4 looks different than hers. But the 9, so my 9, or our 9, the German 9, looks different. You see this here. And it looks very similar to a G in English. So I had to watch out for that one, especially if I have to fill in forms. So if I have to fill in forms and someone else has to read, then I'm really, I'm very specific in concentrating and making sure I use the writing that the Americans does for 1s mainly, and of course for 4s, and then also for 9s. So my phone number, the area code, it's 973. So the 9 I have to watch out for, the 7, and then the 3 is pretty similar. So, but for the first 2 numbers, I watch out for, but not just numbers look different from Germans to Americans, also letters. As Germans learn cursive in school, we start usually in grade 2 and then continue further. And the capital I looks very similar to the J in English. Another difference between Americans and Germans is the way they say hello and goodbye to each other. And of course, this does not apply to everyone. I have friends that it doesn't apply to, but I also went to parties where exactly this has happened. In general, I would say that Americans are more individual than Germans. You probably have heard about the individual culture versus a collective culture. So Germans and Americans belong to the individual culture versus Asians belong to the collective culture. And both US and Germany belongs to the individual culture. However, also within this area, there are different spectrums. And I would say that the Americans are even, more individual than German. And this is something that you can see how people greet each other or say goodbye. Americans are much more casual in saying hello and goodbye. I actually noticed this a lot when I went to play dates when my daughter was little. And we met at the playground, and then, they came and we said, hi, how are you, blah, blah. And then we talked to each other, and then basically they collected the kids and off they go. They just say bye, and then they left. Germans, in comparison, they hang out more in groups, and when they leave, they would say they are more, they wrap it up a bit more. They would say, bye, have a great day, it was great meeting you, it was a wonderful time. And you will notice this difference even more in a social group, in a special occasion such as a birthday party or a dinner or lunch. In Germany, when a new person joins, it's very common that this person says hi to every other guest, and most of the time even hug everyone individually. Compared to in the US, where it's basically you come into a room and then you just say a quick hello to everyone, and it's basically the same for saying goodbye. In Germany, it's very common that you would say, especially if the group is not too big, you would go to everyone and say goodbye individually and probably even hug this person again before you leave. Of course, neither of these behaviors is good or bad, right? There are pros and cons to each of them, and it also belongs really to the culture you come from. I just noticed this difference, and therefore I wanted to bring it up and also mention to my colleague that she doesn't feel, offended when someone just, walks away in the middle of the conversation. Germans and Americans sleep differently, which sounds weird, right? Doesn't sleep everyone the same? Apparently not. Because have you heard about tucking in? Americans are really into that. So if someone brings their kid to bed in the evening, they even say, I tuck you in, which I tried actually to look it up and translate this to German. And it's not even a translation. So it's not a real thing in Germany, but it is a huge thing in the US. The Americans really like it. So they tuck their sheets and the comforter underneath the mattress and the bed. So it's really like and then they lay down in this kind of a cave thing. And this is what they really like, but for me, it drives me nuts. So every time when I'm in a hotel and I see actually that this says already tucked in, I grab it out and have to, it has to be loose more, because this is, the Germans are more, they lay in bed and then they like to put the blanket or the comforter, either put them over their feet or over the body, but they don't like this tucking in thing. And as I mentioned before, I will even reveal a fourth example of differences between Americans and Germans. And some of you might already have noticed when I was counting these three differences, because this is a difference between Americans and Germans. Germans count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, versus Americans 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So another difference that hopefully is not just helpful for my colleague, but also for some of you. So if you enjoyed this video, it would be great if you could give me a thumbs up or even subscribe my channel. That would be very helpful and means a lot to me. And then I will capture further videos also for my friends in the US. So when they visit us in Germany, that they have an idea what to expect. Talk to you soon, and bye.